Out with the old, in with the new. Hi there, this is Anna, Adele and Shelley's presentation from Alexandra Primary and Dunstan High School. We have identified that our teaching and learning model was that of a very traditional system. We needed to make a change for our learners. We wanted them to know where they were in their learning, what they needed to master next, and how they would get there. All of this information had been held in our teachers' heads, and we hadn't been able to be transparent in sharing that up until now. If the tried and true wasn't working for all students, was it going to have a different effect this year? There was some consistency, but this model was definitely not working for all students. We needed to implement a personalised learning approach as we understood it as one of the essential elements of the 21st century classroom. It comes under the umbrella of student choice and self-management. According to Bolstead, Gilbert, Bull, Boyd and Hipkins 2012, learners who have had input into shaping their learning know themselves better as learners. Shaping their learning is important because we want to implement new pedagogical thinking. To do this, we needed to move away from an industrial one-size-fits-all model to a more personalised approach. Our change initiative has been twofold. We first implemented GAFE, Google Apps for Education, alongside the Learn, Create, Share approach to enhance personalised learning. This learning initiative focuses on a whenever, wherever, whatever approach to learning. Collaboration was the first critical 21st century skill needing development. We wanted students to have a shared responsibility for their learning and a voice in creating their own learning pathways. Moving away from a teacher-directed learning model to one that focused on learning the important collaboration skills of negotiation, conflict resolution, agreement on what must be done, distribution of tasks, listening to the ideas of others, and integration of ideas into a coherent whole. Our second skill was self-regulation. At the same time as making learning more collaborative, we wanted to create opportunities for students to monitor their own progress, where we as the educators worked alongside students to guide and empower them to take increasing responsibility for their own learning, both as individuals and in groups. We applied John Hattie's philosophy of teachers seeing learning through students' eyes and students becoming their own teachers. We also wanted to have a system where a flipped approach to learning would enable students to learn anywhere at any time, with technology giving us the ability to do so. We believed that as teachers we were giving all the prompts, but if our learners weren't choosing to be part of the solution, then they were not going to make the accelerated progress that we really wanted them to make. We introduced GAFE, where all students had the ability to work collaboratively across several applications. They were able to connect globally through Gmail and Hangouts, gather data through Google Forms, solve and analyse problems and present ideas through Google Docs and Slides, manage their learning goals and next steps in Google Sheets, organise their evidence of achieving these goals in Google Drive. They had the potential to reach a worldwide audience through Google Sites, and had the opportunity to self-regulate and manage their own timetables and teach workshops through Google Calendar. This gave us the foundation for students to collaborate across so many areas and with so many people. No longer was it just their teacher gathering books in to mark correct answers. They were now getting feedback and feed forward from multiple avenues at any time of the day. With the logistics of how to operate the Google Apps for Education and learning and teaching becoming much more collaborative, we were ready to present learning to students in a way that would allow them to self-regulate and learn whenever they chose, wherever they were, and manage their own learning programs. So how does it work? Students access their learning online. This had several benefits for our learners. Not only did it allow for a flipped classroom approach, it also provided a forum for students to revisit tutorials, links to previous learning tasks, and examples for whānau to access and discuss their child's learning in more depth, giving the learner more means of control and making their conversations with their parents more viable in terms of their learning and also the learning conversations parents were having with teachers. Interweaving the curriculum through an inquiry approach and under Michael Fullan's 6 C's, character, citizenship, critical thinking, collaboration, communication and creativity, students engage all parts of their brain daily in the order they choose. Billy, can you please show me how you get to your learning for the day?
I got a bookmark, so I just go into that. And we have a brain.
Okay, and tell me about the brain. What's in there?
So we have lots of different wee sections of the brain, and if I went into, say, communication, then we've got things for the day or the week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it clear to you what you're learning and what you have to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And how do you feel about learning this way?
I like learning this way because I just find it easy, so I know where to go.
Awesome. Thanks, Billy. Let's start with Learn, which identifies the learning intentions, online tutorials, success criteria, work examples, or self-evaluations that relate to the tasks. This allows all students to learn at a pace that works for them, with everything in a place they could easily refer back to. Using Google Calendar, students plan their day themselves, attaching learning evidence to these events. Teachers have access to student calendars and are also able to invite students to relevant workshops throughout the day. Okay, Zoe, so can you please show me how you're going to attach your first job for the day to your calendar, please?
First, I press the create button to create a new calendar. And then I'm going to give it a title. And then I set the time. So like from 9 o'clock to 9:30.
Okay.
And then I add my attachment.
And what's your attachment?
It's going to be the notice board which I have to read.
Cool.
So it's right here. I just tap it, press select, and it adds attachment on it.
Fantastic, you're a superstar. Next is the Create, which explains the task related specifically to the learning intentions, be it a collaborative task, online interactive, task description, or learning activity. Learners work through these to put these learning intentions into practice. Tasks completed, students attach their evidence to their calendar. This enables teacher feedback in the form of comments, with the ability to attach further tutorials or other examples in the comment section. A crucial part at this point is for us as teachers to build accomplishable steps so that learners feel like they are having success and build their confidence in the ability to self-regulate. By providing these successful moments, students began feeling intrinsically motivated to keep going. And finally, Share, which suggests how completed learning activities or tasks are to be shared, for example, through students' blogs, class discussion boards, or submitted for teacher feedback and feed forward. At this stage, we often collect student voice through Google Forms. Through GAFE, we have several methods in which to consult our students, collate their voice, opinions, and ideas, and utilise this to inform our future teacher practice. The successes. Being so transparent, there is a higher trust that is building around student agency and knowing their own learning. Student agency is evident just through conversations they are having with us as facilitators. With unlimited access to teachers through email or collaborative apps, making comments on peers' blogs, docs, and slides proves our students truly are self-regulating their own learning. Learn, Create, Share allows us to be very open about learning, where students are at and what their next steps are, so they can be aiming for those things both at school and at home. Families access teacher planning and see what is happening for their child at school. This has opened up new avenues for learning conversations, not just among students and teachers, but also students, parents, and teachers. The nature of this initiative is the notion of collaboration, so students are going to each other when they are in the learning pit or to celebrate a success. Being a collaborative and self-regulated classroom means we are all learners and all teachers. It is shifting the control from teacher to student. The growth and confidence and the sense of relief for children that we all have something to learn as well as teach someone else has been a significant success in changing anxious learner mindsets. Acceleration for our learners has been another success. With a flipped classroom approach, students are coming to us having already watched tutorials, completed practice tasks, and sharing their evidence of understanding, asking for more challenging concepts to now move on to. The failures. We didn't have any clear progressions in student language. Students at times became lost in the journey of what was expected of them. We identified that we needed to create progressions from the New Zealand curriculum, for example, in writing, and that these progressions needed to be easily understood whether you were in the education context or outside of it. Part of what we need to do from here to